Hey everyone, welcome to part 6 of my Expanding the Sound Studio tutorial. In this series, we're building up a rack one module at a time, and I'm showing you how each module adds to the system, and you can get an idea of how the system changes over time. So last time we added Pam's Pro Workout, and the modules that we're gonna look at today are adding in drum voices. So we know that the DFAM is great at that kind of rolling thunder type sound. It's a really amazing synth. However, if it's the sole drum percussion voice in your system, it can really make it difficult to kind of hit its full range. So by adding in one or more drum modules, and there's a ton out there, you can really push it to kind of focus in on one particular sound. So today I'm going to show you two different drum modules. One is the Patching Panda's bass drum. This is a DIY build, and I'm going to be giving it away on my Patreon page, so check that out. There's a link in the description. I give DIY modules away on a monthly basis. With the bass drum holding down the low end, then that lets the DFAM run wild with all these crazy textures and play hi-hats or toms or things like that. The other module we're gonna look at is a hex inverter hi-hats, and that's to hold down the high end while the DFAM takes the low end. So this video is pretty much going to be all about the DFAM and how to use it with drum modules. We'll still use the mother and the sub as well though. All right, so I've got a patch dialed up. Let's head over to the sound studio and make some music. So just like the last patch, we're going to have Pam's Pro Workout going to synchronize everything together. Let me just show you what I have so far. And this is, there's no patching or anything. This is just the mother and the sub harmonicon. So that's it. That's pretty cool. It's a very nice sounding patch, and it sounds great with just the two of them. But of course, we want to add some drums to that. So the patch that I have going with the DFAM right now, if you listen to it, it's got that high range, it's the hi-hats. And one of the reasons is right here. This is the filter type. There's low pass and high pass. If you look at my DFAM patches, when the DFAM is the sole rhythm instrument, I almost always have it on low pass because you kind of need that lower end. But the high pass sounds great. And when we modulate the cutoff, it can become very, very expressive. So that's what I want to retain with the DFAM, but we need that kind of low end. So that's where the Patching Panda bass drum comes in. It has a bunch of different modulation inputs like decay and things like that. You can get some cool FM stuff going on. In this patch, I'm just going to use it as a steady kick so we can focus on the DFAM and have the DFAM play different things than we normally are able to do without it. So I'm going to go from Pam's, we're going to go from one output, and we'll just go right into the trigger of the bass drum. Again, Pam's is just so awesome because it allows us to do these types of things. Without Pam's and the flexibility to send out triggers at different rates and things like that, we wouldn't be able to just trigger a simple bass drum like this. So I'm also just going to patch an audio cable right into the out of the bass drum. It's going into my audio interface and recording from there. So let's hear what it sounds like. I think this module does a really nice job of allowing you to shape your kick drum sound. You can change between a sine wave and almost like a pulse wave, so you can kind of change that. And then, of course, like the decay. The VCO has its own envelope too. So it's very similar in setup to how you would tune a bass drum on the DFAM. If you can do it on the DFAM, you can do it on the Patching Panda bass drum. I'm just going to play around with some knobs so you can hear what it sounds like. Let's leave it right there for now. Let's go ahead and put some modulation into the DFAM. I'm going to go to PAMs and we're going to modulate the amp decay. If we set PAMs to go really slowly, like divided by 8, and then change the shape of it to an envelope so that it only goes really at the beginning of that divided by 8, it creates a really nice effect. It jumps up at the beginning of a phrase. So I think that's super cool. Let's also have, I don't know, let's play around, see if we can get the, as I was showing earlier, having the cutoff kind of bounce around sounds really great too. So we'll plug the triangle LFO of the mother into the VCF mod of the DFAM. So that's already sounds so much more expressive. Let's keep it going though and see what else we can come up with just for the sake of experimenting. This time we'll go at a kind of we'll divide it by 13. So that way it evolves over time. And I'll set the shape at some type of like sine wave type LFO thing. And let's send this to maybe to the noise level. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds fantastic. Let's go into, we have another modulation source, number 4. So we're just going to go all out on modulating the DFAM. I'll have this one, let's have this just be a random smooth wave, and we'll set the time. We'll have this one go kind of slow too. I'm going to set it to go 25 divided by 25. Okay, so now I have this patch going into the VCO decay. It's set to a random voltage, a smooth voltage. So it should give off some kind of tonal punches every now and then. It's super subtle, but if you listen closely, you can hear it. So as you can see, just adding in that kick and dialing it in with everything else allows you to do so much with the DFAM. Adding these extra modules will free it up so we can get out of that kind of rolling thunder mentality. So I just wanted to show you a quick view of what the Patching Panda bass drum looks like. It's a great looking module. I like the design of it. I also think it's super cool. Everybody loves flashing lights on their modules, and you have the LEDs kind of down underneath this grate, so when we listen to it, you can see there's a blue and a red light there. It's just kind of a nice little touch, and I wanted to show it off. All right, so I'm going to take apart this patching, and we're going to take a look at the mutant hi-hats, and we're going to have the DFAM playing the low end. So this particular hi-hat module has an open hi-hat and a closed hi-hat. We're going to use our mixer to put them together, and I'm going to plug my audio cable into the mix out. So just to give you an idea of what it sounds like, let's plug in. We'll go from, this is the plug that was going from the DFAM, and I'm going to now plug it into the closed hi-hat so you can hear what it sounds like. So we'll have 16th notes going into the closed hi-hat. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and set up some cool stuff with PAMs. This is another cool aspect of PAMs, is that you can do these Euclidean steps. So we'll have that be 8 steps, and the trigs, we'll do something like that, just to kind of mix things up again. And we'll do the same thing with number 4. We'll do something a little bit different though, to make it kind of evolving. So that will be our hi-hat sounds. Now we need to plug in something into the DFAM. Here, let's get these back up. We'll have voice 5 going. Actually, you know what? Let's just have the voice 5. Let's not even use the sequencer of the DFAM, and we'll just go into the trigger. Rather than going into the advanced clock, we don't even have to worry about that. So now we can take step 1 and just program in our bass sound. There, that sounds good. And now if we play it, So I've got a few other modulation sources going into the mutant hi-hats to add some breath to it. But I really think you can tell how wonderful the DFAM is at playing those kind of hi-hat sounds, because I mean, the mutant hi-hats just doesn't have as many modulation sources. There's not as much control. So that's why in the final rack, I'm adding a kick drum module. I think that's just more important and lets you do more things than adding a hi-hat module, but it still sounds great. Man, this is making me want 2 DFAMs. All right, so I hope that gives you an idea of what adding these extra percussive voices can do to your rack. So there you have it. I hope you like this video. As I said before, if this is something that you're interested in, picking up drum modules, there's tons of them out there. So I'm not necessarily recommending one or the other. Just go out and listen to whatever and see what sounds interesting to you, but it's more about adding extra percussive voices so that the DFAM can play a more focused role in your patches. If you're interested in the Patching Panda's bass drum, they do sell DIY kit, and I strongly recommend trying to jump into soldering your own modules. It's a great experience. It's really rewarding, and it saves you a little bit of money as well. I give away a module on a monthly basis on my Patreon page, so check that out if you're interested. Either way, make sure you like and subscribe so you get notified of my next video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.